What if the thing silently aging your body faster than anything else? Faster than stress? Faster than bad food? Faster than sleepless nights? Has no name you would recognize, no symptom you can point to, and no doctor visit that would catch it in time? Not a disease, not a deficiency, something quieter and in many ways more dangerous. It sits inside your joints, your blood vessels, your gut lining, and your brain, doing damage every single day. While you feel nothing unusual, just tired, just stiff, just slower than you used to be. And here is the part that changes everything. 2 spices sitting in most kitchens right now, cloves and cinnamon. When combined in one specific way, may begin addressing that hidden process from multiple directions at once. Not because of folklore, not because of trends, because of measurable, repeatable biochemistry. But there is one critical mistake almost everyone makes with this combination. One thing that quietly flips the benefit into harm. And by the time this video ends, you will understand not just what to do, but exactly why it works, what it does inside your body at a cellular level, and what you must avoid. Stay with me. The most important piece of information in this video does not come until later. And if you leave early, you will miss the one thing that ties all of this together. The real enemy has been hiding in plain sight. There is a biological process called chronic low-grade inflammation. It is not the inflammation you feel when you twist an ankle or cut your finger. That kind is acute, it heals, it resolves, it serves a purpose. Chronic inflammation does none of those things. It is slow, invisible. It does not announce itself with pain or fever. What it does instead is interfere with your hormones, your cellular repair, your insulin sensitivity, your arterial walls, your joints, your cognition. Research published in journals, including Nature Medicine and Cell, has consistently identified chronic inflammation as a root mechanism in conditions ranging from type 2 diabetes to cardiovascular disease to accelerated neurological aging. And here is what matters most. Most people walking around with it have no idea it is there. The markers show up quietly. A C-reactive protein reading just slightly elevated, an erythrocyte sedimentation rate nudging outside normal range, mildly elevated interleukin-6. Nothing alarming on the surface, but underneath, a slow erosion is happening. Now here is where cloves enter the picture, and the science is more precise than most people realize. Cloves contain a compound called eugenol. Eugenol works partly by inhibiting NF-κB, nuclear factor kappa B, which is the master switch for inflammatory gene expression in the body. When NF-κB is overactive, it signals cells to keep producing inflammatory cytokines. Eugenol helps turn that signal down. Cinnamon, specifically Ceylon cinnamon, contains cinnamaldehyde, which has been shown in published research to suppress COX-2 enzyme activity. COX-2 is one of the primary enzymes that drives the production of prostaglandins, the compounds responsible for sustaining inflammation in tissues. 2 compounds, 2 different molecular pathways, both pointing at the same fire. But what happens when they work together? That is a different question, and the answer is coming. First, there is something your gut has been trying to tell you. Before anything else improves, energy, skin, joint comfort, blood sugar, the gut has to be working. Your gastrointestinal tract is not simply a tube that processes food. It is the origin point of a large portion of your immune response, the production site for serotonin precursors, and the first line of defense against systemic inflammation. When the gut lining becomes compromised, a condition researchers sometimes call increased intestinal permeability, endotoxins from bacteria can enter circulation, triggering systemic inflammatory responses. Cloves support the production of digestive enzymes, which means food is broken down more completely and efficiently. Less undigested material sitting in the gut means less bacterial fermentation, less gas production, less bloating. Eugenol also demonstrates antimicrobial activity against several strains of bacteria that disrupt the gut microbiome's natural balance, including Helicobacter pylori, which has been linked to both gastric inflammation and systemic inflammatory markers. Cinnamon contributes here as well. Research in the Journal of Diabetes Science and Technology found that cinnamon extract helped reduce markers of gut inflammation and supported the integrity of the gut lining in animal models with diet-induced metabolic disruption. Together, this combination may help restore a gut environment where beneficial bacteria thrive, digestive enzymes function properly, and the intestinal barrier does its job. When the gut stabilizes, something remarkable tends to follow. Energy improves. Not because you are stimulated, but because nutrients are being absorbed the way they should be. And that sets up the next conversation, because what happens to your blood sugar when this combination enters the picture may genuinely surprise you. We will get there in a moment. Insulin sensitivity is one of the most important and most overlooked factors in how well the body ages. When cells respond well to insulin, glucose is shuttled efficiently into tissues for energy. When insulin sensitivity declines, a condition known as insulin resistance, glucose lingers in circulation, glycating proteins, stressing blood vessels, and driving the very inflammatory cycle we discussed earlier. Cinnamon has been one of the most studied natural compounds in this area. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics reviewed multiple randomized controlled trials and found that cinnamon supplementation was associated with meaningful reductions in fasting blood glucose and improvements in HOMA-IR, a standard measure of insulin resistance. The proposed mechanism involves the activation of insulin receptor signaling proteins. Specifically, cinnamaldehyde appears to stimulate GLUT4 transporter translocation, which is the cellular mechanism that moves glucose out of the bloodstream and into muscle cells, even in the partial absence of strong insulin signals. Cloves add a complementary layer. The eugenol and flavonoids in cloves have been shown in research published in Phytomedicine to inhibit alpha-glucosidase activity, an enzyme in the small intestine responsible for converting complex carbohydrates into simple sugars. When this enzyme is slowed, glucose absorption from meals is more gradual, resulting in a flatter, more stable postprandial glucose curve. Less spiking, less crashing, more steady, even energy throughout the day. But I want to be direct about something important. If you are currently taking medication for blood glucose management, any medication, you must speak with your physician before adding this combination regularly. The interaction between these compounds and glucose-lowering medications could push blood sugar below safe levels. That is not theoretical. It is a real pharmacological consideration. This is also the moment to pause and acknowledge something about what we are covering here. Everything discussed so far, the inflammatory pathways, the gut mechanisms, the insulin signaling, this is the kind of research-grounded information that rarely surfaces in a simple format. At Golden Glow Senior, this is what every video is built around. Not surface-level advice, but the why behind the what. If you are watching this and finding it genuinely useful, this is the right moment to subscribe. Not because of a number on a screen, but because the next video and the one after that will continue building this picture for you. There is a whole layer of information about aging, cellular health, and natural compounds that most people never reach. You will reach it here. Subscribe to Golden Glow Senior now, and continue. 3 more systems respond to this combination in ways that are worth understanding. The liver. Your liver performs over 500 distinct metabolic functions. The liver. Your liver performs over 500 distinct metabolic functions. It is also one of the organs most silently damaged by modern life. Processed food, environmental chemicals, alcohol, medications. Eugenol from cloves has demonstrated hepatoprotective properties in research published in Food and Chemical Toxicology, where it was shown to reduce oxidative stress markers in liver tissue and support the activity of endogenous antioxidant enzymes including superoxide dismutase and catalase. Oral health. Before modern dentistry, practitioners across South Asia and the Arab world used cloves for oral infection and pain management. The reason, known to us now, is that eugenol is a potent natural antiseptic that disrupts bacterial cell membranes. Cinnamaldehyde has demonstrated similar activity against Streptococcus mutans. the primary bacterial species responsible for tooth decay and gum inflammation. Together, these compounds create an oral environment where pathogenic bacteria struggle to establish and maintain colonies. Antioxidant load. The ORAC score, oxygen radical absorbance capacity, of dried cloves is among the highest of any food ever measured, exceeding 290,000 units per 100 grams. Cinnamon is not far behind. When consumed together in warm water, the combined polyphenol load entering your circulation is significant. These compounds neutralize reactive oxygen species. The free radicals that damage cell membranes, oxidize LDL particles, and accelerate cellular aging. More antioxidant capacity means less oxidative damage accumulating over time. It is slow, quiet protection, but over months and years, the difference is measurable. And that brings us to the point in this video that I have been building toward. The one thing most people never hear about this combination. It is coming next. Most conversations about cloves and cinnamon stop at digestion and blood sugar. Almost none reach the brain. Here is what the research shows. And this is the part that made me revisit this topic entirely. Eugenol from cloves has demonstrated neuroprotective properties in preclinical research. Specifically, studies published in Neurochemical Research showed that eugenol reduced oxidative stress and apoptotic markers in neuronal cells exposed to inflammatory conditions. It may also help preserve dopaminergic neurons, the cells responsible for motivation, movement coordination, and mood regulation, which are among the first to deteriorate with age. Cinnamon has its own neurological layer. A study conducted at Rush University Medical Center found that sodium benzoate, a natural metabolite of cinnamaldehyde, protected against neurodegeneration in animal models of Parkinson's disease by preserving levels of two key proteins, parkin and DJ1, which are essential for mitochondrial function within neurons. Let that settle for a moment. 2 kitchen spices, when combined and taken consistently, may be supporting not just your gut and your blood sugar, but the long-term health of your brain. This is not to make claims beyond what the research supports. These are largely preclinical and early-stage findings. But the pattern is consistent: multiple independent research groups, multiple biological pathways, all pointing toward the same direction. And the reason this matters so much for the over 50 population is timing. Neurodegeneration is not a sudden event. It builds over decades. The window in which dietary and lifestyle interventions can meaningfully alter that trajectory is not unlimited. It closes gradually, quietly, before most people realize it was ever open. What you do now, consistently, matters more than what you do later, intensively. Now, the practical layer, because understanding the mechanism means nothing if the implementation is wrong. What you need: 2 to 3 whole cloves and 1-2 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, not cassia. The distinction between Ceylon and cassia cinnamon is not cosmetic. Cassia cinnamon contains significantly higher concentrations of a compound called coumarin. At low, occasional amounts, coumarin is harmless. Used daily, over weeks and months, coumarin accumulates and has demonstrated hepatotoxic effects in sensitive individuals. For daily use, Ceylon is the only appropriate choice. Look for it labeled specifically as Ceylon or Cinnamomum verum. The preparation: place the cloves and cinnamon in a glass of warm, not boiling, water before you go to sleep. Leave it overnight. In the morning, strain the liquid and drink it before breakfast on an empty stomach. Why warm water, not boiling? Excessive heat degrades polyphenol compounds. Eugenol is relatively heat stable, but cinnamaldehyde begins to volatilize above 78 degrees. Warm water preserves the active compounds. Boiling water wastes a meaningful portion of what you are trying to extract. The critical mistake, and this is the one almost no one talks about: more is not better. This is the error that quietly reverses the benefit. Cloves in excess, more than 3 to 4 per day consistently, can elevate eugenol levels to a range that begins to stress, rather than protect, the liver. The same compound that is hepatoprotective in modest amounts becomes mildly hepatotoxic in high amounts. This dose-response relationship is well documented in the toxicology literature. 1 glass, 1 preparation, consistent, daily, modest. That is the protocol. If you experience any nausea, stomach discomfort, or unusual fatigue after starting, reduce the cloves to 1 and reassess after a week. Your body will signal what it needs. Pay attention to those signals. Before the conclusion, if you have watched this far, you are exactly the kind of person this channel exists for. Someone who wants to understand their body, not just follow instructions. Golden Glow Senior publishes research-grounded health content specifically for the 50-plus audience. The people for whom this information is not optional knowledge, but genuinely consequential. Every video follows the same standard you have seen here: mechanisms, evidence, and honest limitations. Subscribe now, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and turn on notifications, because the next video covers something that affects nearly every person over 60, and almost no one addresses it correctly. 2 spices, 1 preparation, a consistent daily habit. What actually happens when you do this, when you commit to it over 30, 60, 90 days, is not dramatic. There is no single morning where everything feels different. What happens is a gradual shift. Digestion that feels lighter, energy that is more even, joints that complain a little less, a body that begins to feel more like a partner than an obstacle. That is what addressing root causes feels like. Not a cure, not a miracle, a direction, a consistent signal to your body that you are paying attention. The research is real. The mechanisms are documented. The preparation is simple. The question now is whether you begin.